Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I'm your host Mark, and today on the channel we're going to be taking a look at these Walmart Exclusive G.I. Joe Classified Series retro carded repaints. We're going to be taking a look to see if they are vast improvements over the original releases, or if they're just solely cash grab repaints just for your mom. Anyway, let's get them opened up and take a closer look, and check them out. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by, and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Alright, here we have all four of the first wave of retro carded Walmart exclusive figures. We have Lady J, Baroness, Destro, and of course Gung Ho. I mean, the original Destro and Baroness that we got, maybe even the original Lady J, I think were all pretty decent releases. The Destro could have been a little more classic, but as far as like updated figures go, I thought he was one of the better ones. And of course, Baroness is a good choice because originally she only came with the coil cycle, was a Target exclusive and super hard to find, and rose quickly in price on the secondary market. But so yeah, she's good to get back out again. It's kind of weird that Lady J was chosen for a re-release, mainly because she's so easily found in all Walmarts and Targets right now. Like, you can just, she's like a dime a dozen. People are probably already getting her on clearance for like $7 and $8 around in some states. So other than, you know, the brighter colors on her and some updated you know, one particular updated accessory, I'm not sure if she was the best inclusion in this first wave. But of course, the standout here is everybody getting the Gung Ho that we had wished that we had gotten in the first place, instead of this guy who was just way too far updated for some people, me included. But we're going to get each one of these opened up, take a closer look. But just looking at the packaging, you can see some of that nice artwork, more of the classic style hand-painted artwork that goes along with the original, you know, Joe releases when we were kids. You can see that she does come with her handy cam, her little camera that she came with as a kid, as opposed to the more modern version that we got more recently. You can see her weapons have been updated to silver instead of gray. On the back, you do get a file card, Allison R. Hart Burnett, I'm sorry, but it does have the different languages, and you can see that they only show these two, with these two clearly blocked out, being you know, Gung Ho and Destro. Again, my Baroness came launched out of a potato gun. As you can see, it's all tore up, but she does come with some more of classic weapons, you know, namely like this sniper rifle looks really great. I'm really glad she came with that. We do have what looks to be like an updated at least paint app on her face, and we'll get into the differences. Again, look at this classic artwork on the side, and intelligence officer doesn't even have her name. Her name is not even on here. So maybe it is still unknown. Here we have Destro, loving this card art here. This just looks absolutely fantastic. A more classic designed Destro here. Got his weapons right here. We're going to take a look at all of the differences. The cool thing on the back of both Destro and Gung Ho is that both of them are their role enemy. It has his name, James Cullen. Wonder how come Baroness doesn't have a name. Is it classified? Do I just not remember it? And then here we have, I think the standout is the classic looking Gung Ho with the classic colors, the classic color scheme here. His weapon that's very reminiscent of the one he came with when we were kids, an updated mustache and everything, and a new little sidearm that I don't remember us getting before. Before Gung Ho came with a bunch of Nerf weapons. Etienne R. Lafitte, if I'm saying that right. And then you can see the cross sell here. Military Specialist Ricondo. There you go. And then eventually we got a character named Ricondo. So Here we have all four. Let's get them all opened up and get them compared to their earlier releases.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
All right, here we have the Baroness opened up out of the package, and you can see that compared to her original release, it is the exact same sculpt. Now, this would have also been a really good time to fix a couple of things with this figure that I think Hasbro may have missed the first time around. Mainly that the arms, because they don't have an upper like bicep swivel, and because of the way the armor is made and there's no little indent underneath the armpits, is that the arms don't really want to go all the way down by their sides. They kind of stand out. So you have to kind of like bend them at the elbow and like turn them in so that they don't look all funky. And it also would have been really good for them to fix the detents in the ankles. The detents in the original are kind of in these weird places where the feet don't really want to stay flat with the leg going straight up and down. I'm having more success with this one, which makes me think they might have tweaked the detents on the ankles just a wee little bit, but I'm still having trouble standing her up straight the same way I have standing her up straight, just not as much trouble. And in the original release, of course, the glasses are a separate piece that you could remove, but they do come glued on in the package. So these glasses out of the package are not removable unless you physically remove them, like actually like cut them or somehow heated up the glue and made it pop off. You can see it's the exact same sculpt. It's just that what we have here is we have an all black undersuit, whereas here we have some dark gray and black on the undersuit on both the legs, the arms, the upper arms, the torso, and then down here, of course, on the thighs. But this is like an all black undersuit, which I think looks a lot better. Here, on the original, we only had like some shiny black paint down on the boots, whereas, and that's it, not on the gauntlets, not on the chest piece, nowhere else, the shoulder pads. But here on this figure, you've got the shinier black armor on the shoulder pads, the torso, and the gauntlets, as well as the boots. Now, as far as like the updates in the paint, here on the original, one would argue that the painted Cobra symbol on the gauntlets is a nice touch. I agree. I kind of wish these were still painted as well, and I really like that the Cobra logo on the belt painted, and of course here it is not. Again, you could always mix and match. You could probably pop these lower arms off, put these gauntlets on, replace the hands if you wanted, because I think these have like a little grayish tone to them where these are a deeper black, and then you could put this belt on her, of course, if you wanted to do so. But just zooming in here on the faces, you can see that the original release is a lot more paler in skin tone, and the newer release is a lot tanner. And it may not be coming across so much on camera, but in hand, it's a noticeable difference. We're going to go ahead and put her glasses on, which are the exact same sculpt, but I just wanted to show off that nice digital face print that was used on the original as well. But you can also, hopefully this comes across on camera, is that the original, the plastic used and the glasses, the clear part, is a lot cloudier and it's a lot less opaque, whereas the new one is super opaque and you can see the eyes very clearly through them. Of course, the original does have some gold accents on the corners of the frames, and the new one doesn't. But there you go, you can just get a closer look at the shininess of the armor compared. The head sculpt is the same, the hair is the same, the shoulder armors are the same, with that little snake on this one, and the flat, more just less detailed shoulder pad on that side. The hair is the exact same sculpt. The belt with the holsters in the back is the same. The only other difference is that this has this leg piece for her knife, and this one does not. That's another difference here. So let's take, the only other thing I wanted to mention is that the original that came with the motorcycle also came with a second quote-unquote head sculpt, but this was just what she would look like if she was riding the motorcycle. Let me take her glasses off, pop this head off, and show you what this helmet looks like. The peg does look to be the exact same thickness and diameter, so it will fit on there perfectly, and that's what she looks like if you want to give her that head sculpt and put her on the coil bike. doesn't look bad. Now, the original Baroness came with these two sidearms here, these two blasters. They had pegs on each side because they also were made to store on the side of the coil bike. She also came with this snake laser accessory that went around her arm like so, and she could hold it and like shoot people with this like cobra snake laser. And then she also came with two gold pistols. I do like the fact that these are gold. I think they look really nice. They go along with the nice Pimp Daddy Destro that came out. And then she does come with a knife with a cobra head that fits down, a gold cobra head that fits down in that little side sheath right there. And these are all accessories with the exception of the pistols that are exclusive to this figure. The newer Baroness comes with new and updated weapons, and I think that's super, super great. So the other really cool thing, and this is something that I wish would start coming with all figures, is this G.I. Joe stand. It's very much the same kind of G.I. Joe stand that we've gotten with the reboot of the 3 3/4 inch figures from the 2000s, which I think looks great. I think all of these figures need to come with stands, especially as they're getting more expensive. We'll put her off to the side. She does come with these two pistols, which again are identical to the ones that she came with before, except they're just in black and not gold. She does come with this blaster here, which again is like a laser gun. It's not meant to look like a real weapon. And this is a reuse. This weapon, got a little flash still left on mine, but this weapon actually came with the very first Cobra infantry release. It's the exact same blaster that came with him. It has a little peg on the back, so if you wanted to peg it on her back, you could, but her, she does have a peg hole, but that hair just gets in the way. So if you were to peg it in, and it's a really high hole on her back, if you were to peg it in, it's not even like you could, man, like you can't, you can't even really do that because of the way her hair falls. But you do get this really, really nice sniper rifle, and I think this is what we want when we think of the Baroness, as we want, her that long distance sniping ability. And I think this weapon looks great. This weapon alone might be worth the price of admission, because I do like her coming with that sniper rifle. You can take both of her blasters and fit them down, or her little pistols, her sidearms, and fit them down in the holsters in the back, which again looks really nice. That other gun's going to go in the accessory bin, but there you have it. There's the new updated Baroness, and she looks fantastic.
Now back to G.I. Joe.
Okay, here we have Destro opened up and out of the package and comparing him to the original release. And much like the Baroness, you can see it's pretty much the same thing. Here we have an all black undersuit on the new figure, whereas the original release had several spots of like this charcoal gray or this brownish gray color. The collar I thought was a new piece, but it's exactly the same as the original. It's just all painted in a bright red, and it doesn't have this black trim around it. The necklace is the same, but instead of being gold over here, the new release is silver, which I like a lot more. I like the reds on this figure a lot better. They're just brighter and they pop more. You can see that he does have the same, rockets on the wrist as the original retro figure does, but this time he's got the silver gauntlets and silver hands, whereas here they were like a gunmetal gray with black hands. I like this a lot better. The belt is identical in every way except for the paint. It's just cast in a different plastic. And then here I like the bright red on just the holster part, whereas the pouch and the clip pouch on the front is all black and not all red. This looks more like a toy, whereas this looks more like, less of a toy, more realistic, but still based on the original toy. And then we do have less paint here on the belt. The pants are an all black, whereas here we had some gunmetal gray on the knee pads. I do like the all black pants better, and the exact same boots. They're just cast in a different type of different color plastic. This is a lighter gray, this is a warmer gray. You do have some silver accents here on the ring on the boots, where that's not present on the original, but the original did have steel toes, whereas this one does not have any painted toes at all. And if you look at the back here, you just have more of that all black under bodysuit and not nearly as much gray, a lot less gray on the back of this figure. Another thing I wanted to point out was the heads are the same, and they both are equally as reflective and shiny. To me, to my eyes, in hand, they look like they were painted with the exact same metal style reflective paint. The eyes are kind of a little bit different in that this one, the new release does have the painted on eyebrows, which are black, which I really like. This one does not. And this one has black eyes with bright white pupils, like a brighter, larger area of pupil, whereas the eyes are mainly all black with just a tiny little silver dot. And I do think that the silver chain looks better with the head than the gold chain, but that's it. That's the differences for this guy. Of course, he does, like the Baroness, he does come with a base, which we are going to take advantage of, even though this guy doesn't have a lot of hard time standing up. We're going to go ahead and get him on that base, and this figure just looks great. This is what I wanted with the original Destro release. Like I said, I wasn't very unhappy with it. I thought it was a great release, but still, I like the upgrades, and there's a couple of more figures that I would love to be upgraded in these more classic looks, namely Duke and Scarlet. I think would be great. As far as his weapons go, he does come with a black sidearm, whereas the original release came with the same exact sidearm, but it was just cast in gold, a lot like the Baroness. The new release does come with his classic style blaster with scope, just like the original release, same mold, cast in the same style and color of black plastic, but the original did have some more paint apps, the bright red in like 3 different places, and I thought that looked great, and this was a nice touch. Kind of lacking on this one, but I'm not going to complain too much. He does come with his briefcase, but it is now cast in a kind of a brownish gray. It's not very black, whereas the original is definitely black with silver paints on the handle and the latches. Of course, one side did come with this really nice bright red Cobra logo painted. Both sides on the back did not have the Cobra logo painted. I do like the color and the accent on the original, but once you open it up, I do like the new one on the inside a lot better. The original has a painted Cobra logo. It's the same sculpt, but the money also looks a lot more fake, whereas here the money looks, in the new one, it looks a lot better, and it does have that Mars screen, whereas this one just has like a little sticker or something painted in there, or printed in there, or applied to where it looks just like a computer screen that's gone black. And I do like the silver keyboard. So to me, they kind of skimped out on the outside of the paint, but you can see that the money went into the inside of the paint, so for the inside of the briefcase. But there you have it. So to each their own on which painted accessories you like better. But I am digging this Destro.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Okay, here we have the new Lady J opened up and out of the package, comparing her to her original counterpart, and there's a lot going on here, and there's a lot to talk about. So first and foremost, I do like the more original, brighter green colors. This Lady J was fine. I didn't have a problem with it. I don't mind the two-tone green, the darker green on the thighs and on the sides of her uniform. I don't mind that. To me, that looks fine. It looks good. I do like the brighter brown of her belt, which is the same. Boots are the same. Gloves are the same. Of course, the sculpt is identical. One of the biggest differences is that the original does come with like this little brown belt that goes around her back, around her upper torso and around the back for her bag, because her bag is a little bigger. This one does not come with that, but you can see it does have the same little straps on the shoulders to go around to a silver buckle on the back. You can see that the belt's the exact same sculpt. The Go Joe Pro, whatever those things are called, are painted different. I do like the brown and silver on her waist on the belt better than this brown and this darker gray. I have to say that I like the makeup or the face printing on the original better than this one. This one, she's kind of looking off, a little bit to the right. This one is a little more straight on. I like the lighter lipstick than the darker. I never I always kind of imagined, because of maybe her voice is that Lady J was also, to me, was more of a tomboy than Scarlet or CoverGirl. So I like the less makeup on there. And you can see that they have different logos on their hats. Here you have the updated Joe logo, and here it looks like you've got some sort of paratrooper pin design, but the cap is the same, just one's black and one's blue. Now, one of the things that I was super interested in with getting this new Lady J was I was assuming that they would just make this, because she doesn't come with the extra hairpiece that the original release Lady J came with. Since she doesn't come with that, I thought, okay, well, they're not going to make this removable, but it is removable. And I know that some people may say, well, why is it removable if she doesn't come with an extra hairpiece to replace it? And I have to say that I'm really happy about that, because I can leave this one on my shelf with the hat on, and then I can take the hat off. And if you have the old release, you can pop the hair on and have that more classic Lady J look. And this is how this figure is going to go on my shelf, because now I get to have that more classic look, without the hat. I like the hat. I think it looks great, but this is Lady J for me. So for the rest review, I will leave it on, because this hat is, reviewing the figure that you are going to get. Now, I do want to turn around here and talk about the backpack, because so far we haven't had backpacks to talk about in these retro card releases. But this Lady J here, she came with a backpack that has, storage inside of it for the extra heads. Like, you can take this head off of this staff and put it in there. Her javelin, it has the camera that is articulated and moves around, so you can kind of put this any kind of way you want. This is the backpack that the original release came with. You can see it's a darker green and matches her colors a little bit better. But this is the new backpack, so it's more reminiscent of the backpack that we got when we were kids. So I think that looks really cool. It was a kind of smaller, compact rucksack kind of bag. And as far as the camera goes, she actually comes with a handheld camera, versus like the original figure did, like the one we did when we were kids, versus the camera being on this backpack here. So you can get some more of that old school play with, she's out recording. I'm holding that in the wrong way. Jeez, you guys revoke my Joe card. But there you have it. So she can get and film some more reconnaissance. And it does have like a little black lens. I think I would have rather that been silver. So there you have it. Let's get the old Lady J out of the way. She does come with a stand. It does have the Joe logo on it. And if you notice, it's not nearly as reflective as the Cobra bases are. It's more of a matte finish. This one is super reflective and shiny, whereas this is more of a matte finish. So let's get her on her base and set her off to the side so that we can take a look at some of her accessories. So she does come with the same knife that the original release came with, but instead of it being all black, they've cast it in a gray plastic and then just painted black on the hilt, which I think looks really nice. And we'll go ahead and slide that in on her waist, so that looks good there. She does come with her javelin launcher, just like the first release did. And it's not like a push pin or spring-loaded, it's just manual play. But here you have the silver versus the black. And she only comes with one javelin, whereas the other release, the first release, came with two with removable heads. This one also has a removable head. You can remove the blade tip and put more of like a concussion grenade on the back, but she does not have any storage for this extra piece like the original did. So you can have her, basically, if I can do this on camera, have that push through and have her holding it in her hand, which looks really cool too. Or you could just give her the javelin itself and let her hold that. Let's get her on the base. And there you have it. There is the new Lady J. I am happy for this release. I think it looks great, and I love the update, especially considering that you can, pop the hair on her and have that more classic style Lady J that we know of from when we were kids. But I gotta say, I would have foregone this release for a new updated Scarlet, which I would have rather had because I'm not too unhappy with this Lady J. She's Lady J enough, whereas the Scarlet definitely needs an update. I'm sure it's coming down the line. Hasbro can always re-release figures. So let's take a look at the final release in this line, and that's Gung Ho.
Now back to G.I. Joe.
All right, here we have what I think is the best repaint and the best retooling and the best new accessories of this line, and that is definitely Gung Ho. There is so much new and different on this figure than the original release, and it just makes him much more perfect in my book. This was an okay figure, but he did, like Roadblock, I think he did suffer the most from the more updated, more futuristic style that they were going with that first wave of figures before they sort of course corrected. Number one, I love that the colors are in line with the original figure, no doubt about it. They've updated his cover from this rounded style to the more marine style of hat. The jacket, of course, is a complete overhaul. I like that they give him this holster with the sidearm. That looks really nice. And I'm glad that they updated his little side ammo pouch here. So it actually comes with 4 little grenades for his grenade launcher as opposed to 3 grenades that this one came with. But overall, I'm just glad that they really dialed down the futuristic tech. Oh, and of course they added the little sheath around his waist, around his left ankle. I'm glad that they took all the stuff off the arms. Of course, this stuff is removable. You could always remove it if you wanted to, but I'm glad that they also updated the hands to no gloves. I just think it looks fantastic. Let's take a closer look at the faces on these two guys, and you can see that it is the exact same head sculpt, but the mustache is different. This one is definitely much more of that Village People, 70s vibe going on. You can see the differences in the shape of the covers right there. I would have liked a little silver on that pin on the front. I think would have looked really nice. Here, this mustache goes all the way down. Underneath, you definitely get an updated head as well, because they've done away with that little mohawk, that little bit of hair that he's got on top of his head. I just think this just all the way around is a better, more accurate head sculpt. But just slightly updated, changing the hair on the top and the mustache, length of the mustache. But other than that, you can see that the tattoos are different. Or, originally we had heard that, of course, they can't do the Marines tattoo because it's copywritten and they didn't want to pay the license for that. Whereas this one is now much bigger. It goes below the ab crunch, where this one stopped above it. So it's bigger. It's also more blue, so it's more in line with that original Marine tattoo that the toy had when we were kids. You can see the updated vest looks great. I like this. The simplified vest looks fantastic all the way around. I love these colors. And you can see that the lower half, it's exactly the same sculpt with the boots and the knee pads and everything. It's just different color, and here they don't have like that one knee pad that's different. I see what they were going for, but I'm glad they're not using that here. This little sheath wants to slide off. So not only is the figure itself, of course, he does come with a really awesome stand, but not only is the figure itself, though, getting some more love here than the original release, but also the accessories. So let's the original release came with this backpack that was more in line with the color of his vest and armor, and he came with these crazy weapons. One could look like a shotgun, but then you've got this kind of grenade launcher that it's definitely these both were definitely based on like Nerf guns, right? So like these are just in this pearlescent gray, and they don't do anything for you. These went in the accessory bin, and that's where they stayed. And they also had a really hard time locking into these clips on the side and top of his backpack. But here we're getting a lot more love. Let's see, the original did not come with a knife. This one does. So it is sort of, to me, it looks like it's cast in like this black plastic, and then that silver is painted, and that looks really, really cool. So we're just gonna slide that right down in there. and that's a loose fit. It looks like that might fall out. Here we have his updated backpack with the rack underneath. It's all one color, and you got the pouches around the side. So this looks really cool. Let's go ahead and get that popped in. I love that gold, you know, poking out right there on the side where the grenades are. He does come with a pistol with an extended mag, and that looks really cool. So we're going to slide that down in his holster right here on the on his right hip, and that pops down there, and that's a tight fit, so that's not coming off. And you know, while I've seen people you know, talk about how this is not exactly the exact gun that he came with when we were kids in the original retro figure, it is very similar and a nice upgrade. It's some sort of grenade launcher, so it is cast in all black, but they did go one step further and paint the strap a dark green, which I think looks really nice. And we're going to go ahead and give that to him. So we've got some nice updated weapons, some nice updated accessories as far as the backpack and his new cover. I realized recently that cover is the accurate military term for hat. You know, we call it a hat. I guess in the military they call it a cover. So there you have it then. There's that updated gung-ho, and I just think he looks absolutely killer. So let's bring out the other three and let's wrap this up. All right, so there you have it. There's the entire wave one of the Walmart exclusive G.I. Joe classified series retro carded updated classic figures. I think they look absolutely fantastic. If you were going to go into this store, into a Walmart, and you found all four of these, you know, on the shelf, I would recommend, if you were lucky enough to get the original release of Baroness, I would say keep her. Don't necessarily go for the upgrade. I don't see the huge need to upgrade Lady J. I think she was a pretty decent release to begin with. I think if you could walk out of the store with two new figures, it would have to be Destro and Gung-Ho. Gung-Ho for sure, because he is the biggest upgrade out of all of them for sure. I think he is the one that they course corrected the most with. But you know, if you missed that first release, then definitely pick up this Baroness, because she's going to be a lot easier to get if your local Walmarts have stocked them. I found these online. I have 4 Walmarts in my area, and not a single one of them have ever had these figures in stock. I have not seen them once over the summer. So, you know, hopefully these are showing up in your Walmarts, and, you know, but, you know, if they're not showing up and you do have to order online when you can catch them in, good luck with the shipping. If you can catch them all in, I would recommend ordering at least 2 of them at a time. So hopefully you get the free shipping, but you also hopefully get them in a box and not, you know, in an individual bag. But who knows? Who knows how Walmart chooses how they do things. But anyway, what do you guys think about these? Do you like these figures? Do you think they're really cool? You like the repaints? Are you getting them? Do you have them? Would you like them? Do you not like them? And who would you guys like to see? Let me know in the comments down below. So there you have it. There's my thoughts on the Wave 1 retro carded repaints from the G.I. Joe Classified series. Thanks for tuning in and watching. And if you enjoyed the content, check out this video here that I think you may like, and one down here that YouTube thinks you may like.